Welcome to Lost Love Mystery, where every story unravels a secret. So, let's dive into another story. I went with Kelly, not her real name, because she reminds me a lot of me and how I progressed in the lifestyle. Like seriously 0 to 100 in no time flat. She's still pretty new to this, but yeah. So, first I'll describe Kelly a bit. She's a tiny, cute, dirty blonde thing. Like 5 foot nothing and very petite, although she has a chest. Nothing crazy, but bigger than me and on her frame. Anyway, you get the idea. Her husband is very much the man of the house type. They met in college. He was in his final year, and she was a freshman and dated for a few years. In her second year, her husband Tom convinced her to drop out of school because he found a good job and could take care of both of them, and he wanted Kelly to be his 60s housewife. And stupid Kelly listened to this idiot and dropped out of college. So, things went well for the first year. They got married, got a house, and yeah, the whole shebang. Sherbang, shabang. I've never actually used that word in type before, so no idea how to spell it. What Kelly didn't know is that her dumb husband's job was basically a performance-based trial which he thought he would ace. He didn't. He took loan after loan when he thought it was going to happen, but then it all went plop. He was let go and found another job, but it paid a fraction of what he was hoping for. Kelly didn't know all this at the time. Still, Tom managed to make it work for a few years, but then COVID happened and inflation went crazy, and he just couldn't keep up anymore. So Tom finally comes clean to his wife. And after he comes clean, he tells her that she needs to get a job. They couldn't afford to send her back to school, so the suggested was the hospitality industry. Kelly got a job as a server, but she was a horrible, horrible server. She told me stories they put me on the floor laughing. Like legit horrible. Sorry, Kelly, if you read this. I love you. So obviously she got fired. This caused a ton of tension between her and her husband. It was just financial stress, but still. So then she gets a job as a bartender. Horrible bartender also. Then she bartended at a strip club, but she was struggling with that. She didn't like the uniform at all, and the attention she got was not exactly appropriate for a workplace, but it is a strip club. Her husband didn't know she lost the first bartending job because she was feeling pretty embarrassed at that point, and also wanted to avoid the added stress at home. Plus, Tom wouldn't agree with her working at a strip club in any way, but Kelly didn't have options. So, Kelly is bartending at the strip club and failing horribly again. She made some friends, though, and one friend suggested she get a sugar daddy. Kelly was like, no way at first, but then as it was explained, weekly pay, and all you have to do is go to dinner a couple times a month, it didn't seem horrible. When she got fired from the strip club, she was feeling desperate, so called up her friend who helped her get into it. So she gets her first sugar daddy, and it was exactly as advertised. He just wanted company, and all she had to do was a little harmless flirting. Then she gets the second daddy, and it started well, but then after a bit, he started coming on to her. She got uncomfortable and was getting ready to end it. Her anniversary was coming up, though, and she wanted to surprise her husband, so she asked the sugar daddy, SD, to buy her a dress. So SD didn't know Kelly was married. She took off her ring and pretended she was a college student trying to pay off her debt. Okay, now let's fast forward a bit more. That SD kissed Kelly one night. Seems pretty innocent, but it was a big deal for Kelly. She felt horrible and couldn't even look at her husband after. So she texted the sugar daddy and came clean. Said she was married and she couldn't cheat on her husband. The model wife, right? Well, anniversary night. Tom is at work and Kelly gets dressed up to surprise him at his office. She gets there and her husband is still busy, so he asks her to wait. Kelly was feeling a little down because it wasn't the glowing reception she was hoping for. So she's waiting in the lobby and who walks by but SD. Kelly was feeling vulnerable. So when SD offered her a drink in his office, she accepted. In his office, they shared a drink, and now that SD knew the truth, Kelly just spewed out all the bullshit in her life. SD was a charming man and comforted her, and then he kissed her again. And then it kept progressing until she was bent over his desk with a freshly fucked pussy that was just leaking seed. Then she realized she had like 20 missed calls from Tom. Oh shit, she ran out and down to the lobby where her husband eventually found her. She told her husband she was exploring the building to kill time and got lost. Right. So they go to dinner that Kelly booked at Tom's favorite restaurants. And Kelly is feeling weird. She's feeling hot. She just cheated on her husband for the first time, left her underwear in his office, and had a cream-filled center that was making her squirm. Clenching her thighs and moving her leg, she could feel the wetness that SD gave her. That fire was lit. Now she was looking everywhere, at everyone. She felt like everyone in the room knew she was a cheating slut, and she was loving it. After dinner, they go to a lounge. Very trendy spot. Expensive drinks, nice girls, hot guys, and dancing. It's like the modern-day nightclub. Every hot guy she sees has her biting her lip as she dances and drinks with her husband. It was a fun night for them, but she needed to head to the bathroom. Of course there is a lineup. So she's waiting and a guy comes up to her. "Hey girl, I was looking at you looking at me, so I thought I would come say hi," the man said. Kelly was trying to stay strong even though this new desire was burning her up and could only be extinguished by another taste. Still, she tried to resist and told the man she was married and it was her anniversary. The man didn't think much of it and persisted. The line for the washroom in the VIP area was much shorter. She accepted the offer and followed the man upstairs. She went to the bathroom uninterrupted. She thanked the man and was about to head back downstairs. "Wait, hold up, baby. Show me which man is your husband. I want to see why man is lucky enough to land a fine young thing like you," he said as he led her over to an area that they could view the crowd below. Kelly scanned the lounge looking for her husband as the man positioned himself behind her. He clenched the railings on either side as Kelly continued her search until she finally found him. "There he is," she pointed to Tom, who was searching through the crowd holding 2 drinks in his hand. Kelly felt the man's presence behind her. She felt his warm breath on the back of her neck. She felt the sexual energy building between them. "He looks lost." The man kisses Kelly's neck. "Oh, he must be looking for me," Kelly said as she melted into this man's actions. The man snapped his fingers, and a server approached them. "Hey, see that man right there?" He patted Kelly's, but to get her to point Tom out in the crowd. "Well, it's his 4-year anniversary with this lovely lady right here," he says as he lifts the hem of Kelly's dress over her ass. "I want you to bring him to the bar and tell him we would like to give them a free bottle of champagne to commemorate the occasion." His hands are now all over Kelly's bare ass, caressing her soft skin and squeezing her cheeks. Kelly was helpless. She wanted this so bad, but she was feeling horrible about it and tried to protest. "Thank you so much, but I really should be getting back to my husband," she pleaded. "Your body is telling me you want to stay. And what kind of girl comes to a club with no panties on and doesn't expect to get fucked?" He spun her around and lifted her onto the upper railing of the double balcony. "That was an accident," she continued to plead, but it was too late for excuses. This man's cock was already out and pressing into her wet hole. The man moved his head closer to Kelly and said in a low tone, "Tell me you want me to stop and he'll stop." Kelly just couldn't get those words out of her mouth. Each second that ticked by, the man pushed into her a little more and a little more. His cock was huge, and Kelly felt like it was never ending, just stretching and pressing without end until finally it was to the base. Then he pulled out just as slow as he put it in. The gaping void in her vagina left by the man's retreating cock was crying out to be filled again. "I want you to fuck me," she finally confessed. The man smiled and sunk his cock back in, and then out again. The heat between her legs, the vibrations of the music, and the pressure from this man's cock were the perfect blend of all the components Kelly needed to come harder than she had ever come before. This man just kept fucking her and fucking like he was trying to destroy this tiny little thing, pounding hard and fast until she came again. She was holding onto the man's neck for dear life, just trying to hang on and not be flung away by each powerful thrust until the man picked her up by her ass cheeks and emptied his reservoir of semen inside her. Kelly was out of breath and ready to collapse as the man lifted her off of his cock. It flopped out with a force as a gush of his cum dribbled onto the floor. He set her down gently and gave her a kiss. "Go enjoy your anniversary, beautiful. You deserve a wonderful night." He patted her on the butt and sent her on her way back to her husband. Before she went down the stairs, he shouted one last thing. "You know where to find me if you need some more." Kelly wandered through the crowd and found her husband at the bar. "Hey, baby, you will never guess why happened," Tom said excitedly just as the server brought a bucket of champagne and 2 glasses. Kelly was a different woman now. A switch inside her was flipped, and it wasn't going to be shut off anytime soon. As she sipped the champagne with her husband, she kept looking up at the balcony, thinking about what just happened. It was as if she could still feel him inside of her, even though all she had in that moment was a creamy reminder between her legs. The lights were dim on the balcony, and she struggled to see anyone up there. As the night went on, she kept looking for the man. Her husband was ready to go home and consummate their anniversary, but Kelly was insatiable now. "Okay, I just need to go to the bathroom," she said as she headed to the back of the lounge. When she got to the stairs, the security guard smiled and let her right up. When she reached the top of the stairs, she saw the man, but he was accompanied by another woman. "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt," Kelly stammered. "Hold on, little girl. You're not interrupting anything. I knew you would be back." The man flopped his hard cock out of his pants while he remained seated on the couch. She walked over to his cock like it was a glass of water, and she had been stuck in the desert for days. It was her savior. She headed straight to him, pulled off her dress, and climbed on top of that magical meat that filled her so completely. She rode smooth and sensually like a Tom Cruise sex scene. Long, smooth movements up and down until they both came again. She stayed for a moment, resting her head on his chest, not ready to leave, but she had to. Her husband was waiting. She escaped from the hold his cock had on her, threw back on her dress, and left with her husband. When they got home, her husband thought she was so aroused because of him. Little did he know that he was fucking 3 loads of other men's seed. This was only the beginning of Kelly's adventure into the cheating lifestyle. And not too long ago, Tom and Kelly had their first child. Though it's not confirmed, I think we all know that the baby isn't Tom's. Thanks for watching Lost Love Mystery. If you enjoyed this story, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more hidden truths.